I clutch my doll tightly, feeling the rough fabric under my fingers. It's not just any doll. It's the one I made from scraps of cloth, with mismatched button eyes that seem to see right through you. "I told you no toys," my father growls, his voice slicing through the dimly lit room. He snatches the doll from my grasp, ignoring my pleas, and strides towards the fireplace. His actions are swift, but as he throws my precious doll into the flames, something changes. His movements slow almost imperceptibly at first, as a smile tugs at the corners of my mouth. I watch, not with horror, but with a quiet satisfaction, as realization dawns on his face far slower than the flames licking at my doll. As the fire consumes it, the room grows colder, and the shadows stretch and twist into shapes that weren't there before. My father stumbles back, fear replacing the anger in his eyes. He doesn't understand, not yet, that this doll was more than just a toy. It was a guardian, a silent protector made from my love, my hopes, and my desperate wish for safety. Now, with the doll's destruction, the protection it offered is gone, but so are the restraints it placed on something else, something far more ancient and vengeful, bound to the doll by my unwitting desires. The air thickens with whispers, voices of comfort that I've only ever heard in my dreams, promising protection, promising retribution. My father's shouts fill the room, but they're drowned out by the growing cacophony of whispers. He tries to run, to escape the room, but the shadows move, alive and hungry, twisting around his feet, pulling him down. I stand still, watching the scene unfold with a calm detachment. The fire in the fireplace dims, overshadowed by the supernatural light emanating from the consuming shadows. My father's voice fades into a choked gasp, and then silence. The room returns to normal, the fire crackling softly, the shadows receding to their mundane forms. There's no trace of my father, no trace of the struggle that just took place. Only the remnants of the doll in the fireplace, its button eyes somehow still intact, reflecting the flickering flames. "I told you," I whisper into the silence, a tear trailing down my cheek. "You should have let me keep my toys."
I'm breathing heavily, my back pressed against the cold, rough wall of an alleyway far from what I once called home. Every shadow seems to stretch towards me, whispering secrets I wish I never uncovered. My mind races back to the days when ignorance was my bliss, working at my uncle's quaint toy store. The shop was a wonder, filled with laughter and the joy of children discovering their new best friends among the shelves. My uncle, a master toy maker, specialized in crafting electronic dolls so lifelike they seemed to watch you with knowing eyes. It was magical until I noticed the unsettling pattern. As I dusted the shelves one quiet morning, my gaze wandered to the stack of missing children posters by the counter. One by one, I compared them to the dolls. The resemblance was uncanny. The curve of a smile, the color of the eyes, even the freckles seemed to have been replicated with disturbing accuracy. Panic set in, a cold, gnawing fear that urged me to confront my uncle. His reaction was the final nail in my coffin of doubts, a mixture of fear, anger, and a desperate plea for silence. That night, I couldn't sleep. The faces of the missing children haunted me, their eyes pleading for justice from within their silent, doll-formed prisons. I made my decision in the early hours of dawn, packed a small bag, and left a note that I knew my uncle would never find. Now I'm on the run, haunted not by the police or by my uncle, but by the knowledge of what lies behind the innocent facade of those dolls. Every creak and whisper of the wind sounds like the soft steps of those lifelike toys, coming to silence the one who knows their secret. As I prepare to move again, to lose myself in another crowd, I can't help but wonder if those missing children are still out there, trapped within those eerie dolls, their silent screams unheard. The thought chills me to the bone, urging me to keep moving, keep hiding, until I find someone brave enough to believe my story and end this nightmare.